This episode was brought to you by Manifest Media. It's our media studio that can get you started on a podcast today. We got the equipment, the audio, the lights, the camera, and the action. So go ahead and hit us up if you guys want to start a podcast today. Manifest Media, shoot us a DM.
Friends that fuck.
Ay, Dios mío! Ándale, ándale! Oh! It's the policia! Ay!
No, I saw PTSD.
Can you say that in Spanish?
Tengo PTSD.
What's up, guys? We are escaped convicts from the country of Mexico.
Hey!
Howdy!
Let's drink to that.
All right. We have a fucking banger of an episode for you guys today. There is a lot that is going on in our lives. A lot. But
Ego.
to keep this thing a business,
Oh, okay.
this is Friends That Fuck. My name is Tyler.
And I am Esther.
And we are here to deliver entertainment, quality entertainment, and tell you guys about our crazy, wacky, and horny lives.
Because like his dad said, there's always something up with the two of us.
Exactly. So...
Are you just going to drink it out of the bottle? All right.
Does it look cooler if I do it?
I mean, I'm just going to be a little classier.
I actually have this bottle of wine, and it's spelled K-R-I-S. Chris. It's my brother's name and exactly how you spell it. I'm going to give it to him as a birthday gift. Pretty shitty birthday gift to give him an empty wine bottle, but...
I'm sure you got something really creative to make out of it.
I do. But before we get into what is going to be our most content-infused episode yet, with talking points and just golden nuggets of what the fuck,
Yep.
we have to do our challenge wheel.
Hey.
Do you have a button? Do we have a challenge wheel button? Oh, that's more scary. But,
Well, that's literally titled Scary.
yeah. Can you hand me the top to that?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
That wine's pretty, interesting.
Yeah. Does it taste like Chris?
Yes, it tastes like the blood of his tears.
But
Does that make sense?
I guess.
All right, spin the wheel, baby.
So
Can't leave him hanging.
we're gonna leave them hanging if we don't explain it. We got new people coming in every day, so we got to explain the wheel first. Do you want to explain the wheel?
No. That's your forte.
No, it's your.
Ooh. Sorry.
You're gonna
Phone on silent.
You're gonna be punished now.
Oh, okay. I mean, scary. Yeah.
Your punishment is to explain the wheel. Explain the wheel, Esther.
Oh, okay. Well, every episode, Tyler talks to people and they pick a challenge and he puts it on this little thingy in his phone and it's like an app, right? And then he writes them down. And then every episode, right before we record, he pushes the button and it spins and it lands on one of the challenges and then Tyler does the challenge.
Round of applause. Well put. All right.
Put me on the spot. It scared me.
Yeah. So, like she said, I ask you guys. So, guys, take off your Pampers, your hefty, defty diapers that you've been wearing. You guys are just
Your
so
Costco
scared.
maxi pad.
Yeah, your Costco maxi pads out there. You guys are so scared to make me do something. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not scared, so give me something to do. All right?
Yeah.
Did you miss the button?
Yeah, I told you, I'm like the worst sound girl ever.
But give me a challenge to do below. Come on, it's not that hard. And matter of fact, I pay everybody $1 to literally write something in the comments.
Yeah.
Who else pays you to type something? You could literally say,
We can pay you in pesos right now.
Yeah. I can literally pay you in pesos right now. You want some pesos?
You really put that in your pocket?
I could pay you in pesos. Literally. So, make
it rain.
Leave a comment.
Make it rain.
Leave a comment below.
Make it rain.
Leave a comment below. All right.
So
Are you ready? Are you ready? Don't do any.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right.
Let's go ahead and spin that wheel.
Woo!
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Dart hands?
Oh boy.
We don't have any darts.
Yeah, we don't have any darts.
We gotta like be a little bit more. We have this spin wheel, but we don't have a lot of this stuff in there.
Well,
We need to come more prepared.
we do, honestly. But Pedro Martinez, I forgot what your name on Instagram is, but we have just spun dart hands. And we are going to figure out how to do that by the end of the podcast without any darts. So we'll figure that out.
We can save it for next week.
No, we're doing it this podcast.
Okay.
So, as you can see, we got a lot of pesos right now.
Hey,
Coins.
look, check this out. Take this 50 pesos.
And try to rip it?
Try to rip it in half.
I can't. I
I
already know this.
Okay. Did I already try that trick on you?
Yeah, you did. The pesos are like made really well.
Yeah,
but
okay, this one
why
you
do
can't
we
rip.
Why? So Esther, go ahead. Like, why do we have all these pesos?
Okay. All right. Story time. All right. So, as most of you guys know, I lost one of my teeth. All right. Cost me $4,000 in the U.S. to get it taken out.
Well, how did you lose that one tooth?
Okay. I don't really feel like explaining it again, but yeah, I lost my tooth basically doing those Invisalign trays, and after time and time and time, it like broke my tooth,
well,
and then it snapped off on a piece of bread, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, off of a piece of Panera,
But it was already
Panera bread.
It was already broken to begin with, so it was just kind of like, it was like the nail of the coffin.
The fucking hard-ass Panera bread.
Anyways, it cost me $4,000 to get it taken out, and it was $4,000 that I didn't have, and then they also were like, that was just to pull the tooth out, and then they're like, okay, well, you need another bone graft, and then like once you get this bone graft, then you can get like your dental implant. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm like, how much is it for a bone graft? They're like $1,200. I was like, okay. And then how much for the implant? They're like $3,000. And I was like, okay, I don't have that. And so I'm like calling my mom, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. She's like, babe, just go to Mexico. A bone graft there is $300. And like a dental implant's like $1,000. So I'm like, all right. So I call, like, so we're in Austin, Texas, obviously. So the closest like border to Mexico is Laredo. It's a 4-hour drive. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just call a dentist in Laredo. I make an appointment just for a bone graft. So I'm like, all right, cool. I saved just enough money to get this bone graft. And so Tyler and I go on February 15th, which is the day after Valentine's Day. Mind you, right before Valentine's Day, we got litty titty.
Oh shit, we got so drunk.
We were litty titty. It was really sweet, actually.
Well, just imagine this, guys. Imagine like literally pounding down alcohol, like a good amount to where you don't even remember how you ended up at a Chick-fil-A drive-thru. Because that's exactly what happened. We ended up at a Chick-fil-A drive-thru and a Whataburger drive-thru in the same trip home.
Okay, so
we were just fucking pounding shit. So imagine that kind of night, and then waking up at
6 a.m.
6 a.m. to go on a 4-hour drive to Laredo.
Mm-hmm. We were still drunk.
Oh yeah, I like did not, because she hit her hangover before I did. She's like, are you not hungover? I'm like, no, I don't get fucking hungover. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, I'm miserably hungover right now.
Yeah, it was super brutal. So I wake up and I'm like still in my dress and I'm like, Tyler, we got to go to Laredo. And then I was like, I'm wasted. I see his roommate Lonnie go down the stairs. I'm like, Lonnie. And he's like, hey, Esther. I was like, I'm wasted. And he's like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Verbatim.
I know. Seriously. That's literally how he says it. So we get in my car.
Shout out Lonnie.
Yeah. Lonnie, we love you. Get in my car, go and drive to Laredo. So we end up going into Mexico, and I went. So there's two different lanes. Once you enter Mexico, there's two lanes in which you can go. You can go under declare or undeclare. And so
I'm just going to point this out. Mexico, just the way that she explained it seems simple, but
it's not.
It's so fucking confusing. Mexico is the most confusing. It's even more confusing than those people that have like stepped foot in Houston or some shit like that, where their highways just like branch off 7 different ways. Mexico is 10 times worse than that. It's like, you could go this way, maybe if you want to, but we might pull AR-15s on you if you go this way, which is exactly what happened when we were crossing the border.
Yeah, so basically I went the wrong way, and so they had to pull me over. And
with AR-15s everywhere.
Yeah, like they were like, who are you, blah, blah, blah. Turns out my car registration, well, it turns out I kind of already knew. I didn't think it was going to be this big deal, but my car registration was out. And so they pulled me over, and then I had like a bunch of like alcohol paraphernalia in my car. So I was just kind of like, they basically were like, why do you have all this? And why is your car like expired? Like your registration expired. And so I was like, well, like just trying to be honest. I was like, look, I woke up drunk. I literally drove here. I have a dentist appointment. I literally just came here to get dental work and leave. I'm like, I'm not staying. I'm not anything. I'm literally just coming in, coming out. Like literally it's like right across the street.
And mind you guys, she's actually telling this to the police because she's fluent in Spanish.
Yes.
So she can speak Spanish just as well as they can. So it's literally, it's not me talking to the cops. It's her. And, you know, she's explaining everything pretty clearly to where they could understand it.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, well, we need the registration in your car. I took it out because I was going to renew my registration. So I didn't.
Good.
So I didn't like, so basically I was like, I freaking forgot. So basically they're like, all right, well, we got to impound your car. So they impound my car. They take us into this room. And they're basically like, well, we need proof that you own your vehicle because they didn't have my registration.
It was a legit interrogation room.
Yeah.
Like, they had a couch on the opposite side. They had a random wood table in the middle that had a history book and something else on it.
Yes.
And we were just sitting on the other side, and we got interrogated.
Yeah. They were talking shit about me in Spanish. They're like, how does this little girl like not have her shit together, blah, blah. Fair enough.
It was hilarious because they thought we Esther looks white, and I am white. So it's just like they literally didn't expect us to know that much Spanish. They were right about me. They were wrong about her. So literally she like leans over. She's like, yeah, they're literally talking shit about us outside of the room.
Yeah. So they're like interrogating me. They're like, well, we need proof this. And like, I'm like, look, like I do own the car. I'm calling my like car, like, look, cause I'm not lease my car. I'm still paying my loan on my car. So I called them and I'm like, hey, can you just send me like just anything to prove that I own the car? Like, can you send me like a copy of the title, like anything via email? And they're like, well, it's going to take about 3 weeks. I'm like, 3 weeks? I have 10 minutes to figure this out. Otherwise we're stuck in Mexico.
And she's not kidding about that number. They legitimately came into the room. We were already in there for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And she was just panicking, trying to find somebody to go take a picture of something, or like having any of these car companies send something to prove that this was her car. And they came in and they literally got sick of us and they told us, you have 10 minutes to figure this out.
Yeah. So basically it was like an hour trying to get my like car company to like basically like send me a copy of something. They're like, it's 3 weeks. And then like it kept refreshing and refreshing, nothing. It took me forever to try to get a hold of like the Travis County to basically send me a copy of my registration and to try to renew my registration via car. But they're like, well, we need admissions. I'm like, I can't physically do that. My car's in Mexico. I'm stuck in Mexico. So that took another hour, and they were basically super fed up, and they're like, well, you have 10 minutes to figure it out. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I called my friend and my coworker, Sam, and I'm like, not Sam from Girls on Fire, but my other coworker, Sam. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, I'm in my car chilling. And I was like, hey, can you just show up at my house? Because I realized that I still had a copy of, they're like, basically like, well, we just need a receipt that you bought the car. And I was like, cool. I keep documents of everything. So I was like, cool. I'll have Sam come over to my house. Luckily, I have like a keypad on my door. So all she had to do is, she didn't need a key or anything. So she's like, I'm on my way. I'm like calling my neighbor too. And I'm like figuring maybe my neighbor will come, but my neighbor didn't answer. So Tyler's calling people. We're like, we just need someone to just drive to my house, take a picture of this and send it. Plus, I also didn't have really good service too. So it was
we're
very
in Mexico, guys. So like we are calling all these people. We don't know if we have service. She's on 18% battery. I'm on like 22% battery.
Yeah.
We are running out of time. And we can't get a hold of anybody. How are we going to prove to these guys that we own this fucking car? Because what would have happened if we didn't prove to these guys that this was the car is we would have been stuck in Mexico. We would have been stuck on the Laredo border with no car, transportation, no idea how to get around. And we had 10 days. So, like, let's say we didn't find somebody. Past that date, we had 10 days to prove it. Or else they would keep the car in Mexico and claim it as theirs.
Yep.
That's exactly what they told us.
I was like, it's my fucking car.
What's the law behind it? There is none. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So basically, finally, my neighbor comes in clutch, answers the phone, goes into my house, like takes a picture of everything, sends it to me. I send it to them. And I was like, all right, cool. Then they're like, all right, well, now you have to pay a penalty. And I was like, what? And so they're like, yeah, it's going to cost you $700. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I only had like enough money to pay for my bone graft, but I had to like basically pull money out of my savings for this. So
pretty much the money that she had for that bone graft went straight into paying off these Mexico cops.
Yeah. So basically they let us leave, back to the US, go to a bank, find a bank. We walked like 3 miles trying to find a bank.
You can. So going back to the U.S., you can cross this bridge. We kept crossing a bridge that would go into Laredo, that was in the U.S., and then you cross a bridge again, you're in Mexico. It would take about 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And they were letting us just do that. And when we first got out, they were following us. They were like following behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And it just started seeming sketchy. That first passover on the bridge, I leaned over to her and I said, it seems kind of weird that they have to follow us. And the fact that we have to pull from a bank instead of just digitally paying a ticket off like you do in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
or giving them a check. Why do we have to pull from a bank? Anyways, go on.
Yeah, so because they're like, the girl was like, well, if you pay in the U.S., it'll be safer. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So we're like frantically, like we go to like multiple ATMs. We can't pull more than $200 out. So then we ended up going to like an IBC bank. They ended up giving the money. Then we had to basically convert that $700 into pesos. So then we finally do that. We come back to the U.S. and then they gave us
US
or go back to Mexico, hand them the money. And then they're like, all right, cool. Now you have to go to a Mexico bank and go pay this ticket off. And I was like, okay.
And pretty much, mind you, when we paid them that first time around, which the way you just explained it finally answered it for me. I still, before I sat down, was confused why we had to go get money twice. So basically we paid them off the first time, and it was obvious that we were literally getting extorted because when we gave them the $700 they initially requested, Esther kind of pulled out a sob story where she's like, I really don't have that much money. Like, I'm kind of like struggling right now. And this lady heard it and had a sense of empathy and gave back some of the cash.
Yep.
So
basically what it was,
it's never gonna work in the fucking States where you're getting a ticket and the guy's like, oh, I'll cut you a deal, put it back. No, this is just Mexico. It's a wild, wild west out there. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So we put all the money in this envelope. This is what we got out of the bank. So what happens is she took it out, counts the money, gives me this like receipt, right? She like gives me this receipt. And then she's like, all right, this is for the ticket. And then this is for another fee. And then she basically, this is what she gave me left over.
And how much is that? It's like $150 in
No,
US,
it's not.
right?
It's less than $100. It's like $70.
She's like, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And mind you, I accidentally left the envelope with the excess money in there, and I had to go back in there, and I was like, so like, what's mine? And then she took out, so basically, all in all, the whole ticket that I had to pay for the state of Mexico cost me $500.
I thought it was like $350.
No, it cost $500. So she pocketed that like $250. She pocketed $250. Gave me $50 back.
This was the same woman that was talking shit about us outside the office.
Yeah, she was like arguing with me because she was like, look, I'm not going to explain the laws again, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, like I'm trying to understand, but like I know Spanish, but I also don't understand a lot of the terms that you're saying because like, it's just like, I'm like, look, I'm trying to work with you. Please give me some time, blah, blah, blah. And so like she kind of like, once I gave her the sob story, she started being a lot nicer to me.
She was like, she had a real fake nice. She had this like Karen kind of deal with her where she's obviously like looking at you like you're dumb and talking shit, but she's talking like this
because she's about to get money from me.
You know, no, that's not how it works in the States. So we're gonna actually take this money from you, and you're not gonna get it back.
Well, I literally lifted up my thing. I was like, look, like I'm really insecure. Like I just want my tooth fixed. Like I came here. Like the reason why my registration isn't up is because I either had to pay for a tooth or like pay for my registration. I came here to save money. Once I told her that story, she was like, okay, well, here's $15 back.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So I get the rest of like, she gives me all the money, but like kind of has to divvy it up. So she keeps some money, like gives me what I have to go pay. So then she's like, all right, now you need to go to this bank and this bank. If you can't go to this bank, you can go to this bank. And I was like, okay. Confused because I don't understand like what, like literally my ADHD was kicking in. So I was like, what did she say? I forgot. And so we asked the security guard on our way out, and they're like, okay, well, you can go to this bank, this bank. We went to both banks. The first bank was like, no, you can't pay that here. And I was like, okay. Then I went to the second bank, and then they were closed. And it was like 4 o'clock. So all the banks close at 4 p.m. So
mind you, it was closed because we waited in a line for an ATM for an hour.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know if that line, this is how fucking confusing Mexico is. That line was wrapped into a door that you couldn't look in, and one person at a time would walk out, and it was literally not more than 5 feet from the actual bank we were supposed to be going into. So it looked like a line to that bank, and we waited in that line for an hour.
Yeah. And then, so we ended up, like, having to walk all the way back to where they were. We're, like, walking in loops. Like, we walked, like...
We walked at least 4 miles.
We got our steps in.
Yeah, we got. That's
check that camera.
That's exactly what I said while it was all going on. You're good right now. We'll go ahead and just press it.
Okay.
So hold on.
Okay.
All right, shoot.
So, anyways, we go back. We talk to the security guard. I'm like, where do I need to go? Because all the banks are closed. Like, I'm like borderline. Like, Tyler's rubbing my back. I'm like, I'm freaking out. Like,
I was trying to comfort her because I could tell this lady was just about to crumble.
Yeah, I literally was like, I
mean, who would not crumble if you go to fucking Mexico to get something fixed where you're missing a tooth? If anybody's missing a tooth, you're not going to feel the sexiest you can feel.
No, I'm so insecure.
And she's literally going to fix an insecurity just to get stopped at the border to have her car taken from her and the money that was going to go towards that tooth taken from her.
Right.
Anybody would be fucking crumbling. So I had to make sure to just be there and be some sort of dumb dad comedic relief where I'm just pouring off dumb jokes to keep her lighthearted.
Yeah.
I was not panicking at all because I had no reason to, but she had everything to lose.
Yeah, I was literally freaking out. And then, so anyways, we go back and talk to the security guard. The security guard's they're frustrated with us. They're like, get the fuck out of here. Pay us, right?
Yeah.
So finally he tells me, I'm writing it in my notes. We go find it. I pay the ticket. I come back. And then they made us wait another 45 minutes. Then they hand us the key. The girl's like, okay, bye. And I was like, okay. I was like, how do I get out of Mexico? At this point, I literally looked at Tyler. I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to fucking go home.
Both of us, hold on, I'll wait till the recording. both of us were literally like, just get me out of this fucking country. Like, and the confusion just would never subside. It was so fucking confusing. We went down the wrong way again.
Yep.
And the guy told us to U-turn and take a long-ass fucking route that took us to the U.S. checkpoint, right? It was, here's one checkpoint. I'm giving the visual guys like a good visual, but if you're listening, you just got to use your mind. There's one checkpoint where we fucked up, but they had us drive maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes to another checkpoint that was down the road. And when we got through there, not to shit on you, but she definitely gave a sketchy ass book report on what happened to our day.
Yeah, because like
the guy, the U.S. patrol guy that stopped us, their job is to ask like, hey, so what were you doing in Mexico? And it's just like a real quick briefing. Like, what were you doing in Mexico? Oh, I was going to get my tooth fixed. How long were you there? A normal person would have said like 2-3 hours, but we didn't have a normal day.
Mm-mm.
And when that question arose, how long were you in Mexico? She was like, oh, about 6-7 hours. And then he's like, why were you at a dentist appointment for 6 to 7 hours? Already looks sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
Then she just goes, well, actually, we got detained because we were trying to bring in like
me being all honest.
we were trying to like drive past the Mexico police and blah blah blah. That's how she explained it. And the guy's just like looking, and he's like, so do you still have illegal shit in your car? And she's like, me and her both actually said no, because we forgot that you can bring in a certain amount of alcohol, but if there's like a little bit left, they'll leave it with you. And we forgot that it was there, and he found it in the trunk, and he's like, all right, yeah, you told a lie.
Yep.
When really we just forgot about it. Go on and circle over to the second checkpoint that's with the U.S. And by God, shout out to this cop, or this what would you call him? Just super trooper?
I guess so.
Because we go to the second cop, we have been dealing with authorities all day.
They were assholes. Well, they weren't assholes. Yeah, they were.
No, the Mexico authorities were assholes.
Yeah.
This U.S. checkpoint guy wasn't really an asshole, but he wasn't. I mean, he was doing his job.
Yeah,
we'll give it to him. He was doing his job.
He was definitely shitting on me.
He was shitting on me.
If you're listening to this, you were definitely shitting on me.
You shat on her chest pretty hard, but
you definitely judged me.
We pull into this like third checkpoint, and we're so fucking tired about having these armed people with guns asking us questions all day. They made us pull out our entire vehicle. Like, they had drug dogs sniffing up the entire place, dudes with AK-47s just like rolling around the fucking car. And I'm saying thank you only because one guy was finally fucking cool. It was such a sigh of relief to have this one guy just telling jokes. Like, before we even parked into the place that they were going to search us, he was waving Esther on. He's like, come on, move a little closer. And finally, when she parked, he's like, sorry, I was just trying to get you out of the sun so you didn't have sun in your eyes.
He was really nice about that.
And he was asking her about her podcast. And then, like, by the end of it, he was pulling jokes like, so what did we learn today? Yeah. And he basically told us, he's like, yeah, so if you're ever going to do this again, just park in the U.S. and walk across the bridge, get your shit done, and then come back. Because, quote for quote, he said this, those guys over there do what they want. They will take your money. It's a third world country. So all they care about is money. My roommate told me literally verbatim when he lived in Tijuana for a little bit that he would keep $20 in his pocket every time he got pulled over, because he would just give it to the cop to leave him alone. Yep. They just want your money. They'll take your money and there's no questions asked. So he's just like, those guys over there, they do what they want. Over here, we're a little more chill. So, lesson learned. We were able to drive home after that. I got a cool gas station knife with my name on it.
Yeah. If I'm getting a little teary-eyed, it's like, while this story is really awesome, I still was never able to get my tooth fixed, so I still got this insecurity.
But baby, we're gonna get that fixed.
I know.
Because who gives you a promise? I do.
I know.
Let's cheers. We're not stuck in Mexico right
This
now.
is the wine. Yeah. So that's a story.
Of us literally almost being stuck in Mexico. And let's get a round of applause. We figured it out. And everybody just please, religious or not, just make up a prayer for Esther. Just please pray for better days for Esther.
God.
We love you, Esther. We're so sorry that shit just keeps piling on you.
I will say, like, the really cool part was as soon as we, like, got out of all, like, basically the border, we Googled a Longhorn Steakhouse, drove there. We took shots because I was like, I need a shot. And he's like, okay.
It's literally like right when we get back into the United States. She's
Not even like a 5-minute drive. I'm like, Longhorn.
We got to go to Longhorn Steakhouse. Just find one on the maps, Tyler. Longhorn Steakhouse. So we just go to a Longhorn Steakhouse and just like guzzle down Patron shots. And I bought like the most expensive steak. And we just literally kind of partied after we almost lost everything.
I needed it, and it was definitely a highlight. And it was just like trying to figure out and piece everything together. I mean,
there's
much more to the story than we are telling, but we can't really disclose for legal purposes.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to know the real story, just let me know, and I'll be happy to tell you. But on the podcast, we can't.
Yep. So that was our Mexico story. Are we missing anything? Because I do have...
I will say one of the things that did keep me going and did keep me, like, sane was, like, noticing all the Kanye West controversy because he was just going batshit crazy. And I was like, all right, cool. It was literally, like, okay, so...
I'm wearing a feel like... As she's talking about this, I'm wearing a Life of Pablo tour t-shirt for Kanye.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, Kanye's acting like literally an 8th grader.
So that was like the thing that like literally helped me escape all the stress that I was dealing with by literally looking at how crazy Kanye was going. And I was like, all right, so I'm sane right now and he cray.
Yeah, he's a little
It was
nuts.
very entertaining.
Before we drop off on that topic, I have Laredo Drive written in the notes. Was there something specific about the drive that we're forgetting?
Oh yeah, there's nothing out there.
Well, yeah, but
on the way back though, you did see a semi swerving, and you almost thought that there was gonna be an accident.
That was fucking nuts. I really hope that guy made it home safe, but he was literally swerving. I thought we were gonna die. This dumbass like semi guy was definitely drunk or some shit. I don't know, but I don't remember. We just got out of Mexico. That's all that matters. Esther's putting some of the pesos putting it in her under boob right now because commemorative. All right. Well, if we're going to go from Mexico, let's go ahead and go back to the U.S. and to Canada to talk about some current events.
Okay.
Free crack pipes for everybody. Woo! Joe Biden. Good job, man.
What?
Joe Biden. Free crack pipes for everybody. Do you not know what's going on with this?
No.
You don't. So, in the U.S., as a attempt to bring down the death rate with homeless people, drugs, all that kind of stuff, there has been a push towards, with the Biden administration, apparently there's been a push towards funding these crack pipes instead of...
Wait, that's real?
Yeah, so there's... I'll go ahead and look up a news article right now.
I thought that was a joke. I thought that was a meme on Instagram.
No, there's actually...
That's real?
Yeah, it's kind of real. So it says a crack pipe misinformation. There's obviously got to be something off about it because there's no way in hell that Biden's going to take our tax money and just fund homeless people like free crack pipes. That's just a little too...
This seems
off.
very political.
And I don't like politics. I hate politics. But there is this meme going around that Biden's funding crack pipes.
Yeah, I saw that meme. I thought that's what you were talking about. I thought that was a joke.
We'll steer away from the politics side of it. This could be misinformation. We're not Joe Rogan and just putting things out that might not be true. That's another also maybe misinformation. People are saying that he's putting out like all that kind of stuff. I like Joe Rogan. I really do. I like what he puts out there. I know you don't, but
okay, let me correct you. It's not that I don't like Joe Rogan. I'm just not big on the misogyny part of his content. But as far as his podcast and
that's a bold thing to say.
I stand by it.
Okay.
But he is a really good interviewer, and a lot of his content is really good. So I'm like up in the air.
But to steer away from the U.S. and crack pipes, another thing is even going on in Canada, where they're giving out. Let's see, they're literally giving out free meth, heroin, and cocaine.
What?
Free. I got to figure out because there really was an article that I ran across.
I just chugged the rest of that wine. It was brutal.
It is a January 17th.
Woo!
Oh, no, it's a July 17th thing. So this is actually old news. But in Canada, free cocaine, meth, and heroin for everyone. One city's plan to tackle its drug problem. The province of British Columbia in the nexus of Canada's drug overdose crisis and its 5th year of public health emergency, they decided to give out free samples of heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine right in front of the police station in this one city. It's in the city of Vancouver. So everyone knows Vancouver, Canada. If you played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, you were in Vancouver. So yeah, the province of British Columbia is the nexus of Canada's drug overdose crisis, and now it's 5th year of a public health emergency. I just literally, they wrote that twice in the article. But their idea is to hand out these drugs that these people are addicted to so badly, but give them clean versions instead of tainted ones. Just like, you know, how here in Texas, if you're going to go try to buy, like, there was that Adderall scandal where they were putting fentanyl in it, and cocaine, there's fentanyl, all that kind of shit. So Canada and the U.S. have two different ways of going about this. The U.S. is trying to give out crack pipes that don't have herpes on it, pretty much. And Canada is like, we're going to give you the real stuff, but in small samples just to feed your fix, and you won't die.
Oh, my God.
It's fucking, what could be any more different?
Well,
we're in 2022, guys. Since 2020, everything's been a movie.
Well, this actually would make my dad super duper happy because, fun fact, my dad long time ago, he ran for state senate, and we all know John McCain, right? Yep. I think it was like, was it the senator of Arizona? I think at the time, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But he actually had a political debate with John McCain about legalizing drugs. My dad was like, why don't you legalize all drugs and just moderate it? Because people are going to keep finding them, and the people are still going to keep doing that. But as long as the government can like control it, I think it might be a win-win for everybody.
So it's in the same breath, it's kind of like how they do Adderall, like we saw in that
documentary.
In that documentary last night, we watched the documentary "Take Your Pills." It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Adderall is meth. It's a small sample of meth.
Yep.
It literally is that. They are one molecule away from being full-blown meth. But the government takes that and moderates it. Like in 1979, they said that there was over 80 billion pills just given out to people like candy, but they realized how bad that was. So they made it a Schedule II drug, and they shortened it, and they can only give each person 60 pills a month. I know that because I was prescribed for a little bit. They can only give 60 pills per month so they can moderate it, and you don't fucking fall off the deep end. So if we did that with actual drugs, I don't know. Would they really take black tar heroin and like give you small doses of it?
I'm not sure, but I remember the debate like being super big, and McCain was obviously like, no, don't legalize drugs, blah 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 blah, XYZ.
There's a good point to each.
Yeah. Well, the funny part about all this was not even 2 weeks after that debate, John McCain's wife gets caught with cocaine.
No fucking shot.
Yeah, my dad loves to tell that story.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was way before I was born.
I guess instead of crack pipes, we can moderate our drugs. We could be responsible adults, but we're not all responsible adults. So who knows? That's just politics again. We need to steer away from politics.
Okay, yeah. Change the subject.
All right, we're gonna change the subject. Can I tell you my favorite story of all time?
Yes.
It's probably one of my favorite stories of all time. One of my buddies, shout out Preston Oliver. I met up with him again this weekend because he's getting married. Shout out Mrs. Oliver.
Woo!
Woo! And he rebirthed one of my favorite stories from high school. So let's set the scene, okay?
All right.
Bowie High School. That's where I went to high school. There is one of our bathrooms that end up in flames.
What?
What the entire bathroom gets engulfed in flames. Like we have to evacuate the building. Fire department comes. They take out this fire that's in this bathroom. So what's the next step, right? Let's figure out how that fire happened. Fire doesn't happen in bathrooms by accident. There's no like electrical outlet that'll put it into flames or whatever. Someone had to have put fire in that bathroom.
Right.
So they check the cameras, right? And they actually catch a kid, and he's got a mask on, he's got his hood on, and he's running into the bathroom, and there's no cameras in the bathroom, so
yeah,
obviously. So there's no telling how he said it. He probably just took like a match and threw it in the trash or whatever and ran out. But this guy had a mask. How are you going to catch this kid? There's 700 kids alone in my graduating class. There's like at least 3,000 kids at this school. How are we going to catch him? He had his hood on, he had his mask, whatever. But when they took a closer look at the guy, they realized he was missing an entire arm.
What? What?
And there's
what?
And there's only one kid in our entire school that is missing an entire arm. So this kid went out of his way to try to get away with arson, but he forgot that he's the only kid missing an arm, so that's why we dubbed him the arsonist.
Oh my god! What the fuck? That is hilarious. That is what?
It's a true
How
story.
do you forget that story?
I did. It never forgets. It's just like I don't tell that story all the time.
Well, you
right?
should. That's pretty fucking funny. Is this true?
It's a true story.
So did he get in trouble?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
And he got arrested, but they had to figure out how to put cuffs on him. So.
No. Oh my god.
The arsonist. Yep. What? It's my favorite story. Whenever he told me that, I went to the bowling alley to meet him. Whenever he told me that, I busted out laughing because it is my favorite story of all time.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and segue from. Oh, not to mention at this bowling alley, I wanted to mention. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
They were selling bath bombs and CBD gummies.
And you didn't buy me any?
Why are they selling bath bombs?
I love bath bombs.
But bath bombs and CBD gummies.
Why don't you think of me when you're at the bowling alley?
People are gonna just ask you. They're like, "Where'd you get that bath bomb?" Oh, I got it at Westgate Lanes, the bowling alley.
My boyfriend got it for me at Westgate. It's fine. He was bowling and was a little litty and thought of me.
All right. So we've talked about some crazy stories already.
Oh.
Our own personal crazy story. The crazy story about the U.S. and Canada literally giving people drugs. Oh, we talked about the arsonist. Another crazy story. We're going to go ahead and finish off before we hit into Esther's words of the week because she's already ready and prepared. I
am. You keep always hounding me on this.
I know. We're going to talk about one more absolutely fucking bonkers story.
What?
Okay. So I'm gonna grab a prop real quick. Okay.
I'm scared. I'm freaking scared.
There's no reason to be scared. It's not a horror film. It's just The Corpse Bride.
I love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Who is the maker of this?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, the same guy that does her favorite movie, Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
How did you forget that?
I just blanked.
Oh, we're beefing now.
Okay, hold on. The Corpse Bride. Some of you may have seen it. Some of you haven't.
It's a beautiful movie.
It's a great movie. But
Danny Elfman does an incredible job with the soundtrack.
I watched a BuzzFeed story that just recently came out, and there was an actual real life corpse bride situation.
What?
A real life corpse bride situation that is not even remotely as cute as this.
Don't ruin this movie for me. It's one of my favorites. I fall asleep. I like to watch it when I'm having super bad anxiety because it just makes me so happy. The blue butterflies at the end.
It's so cute.
You know I love blue butterflies.
This is far from it.
Oh, fuck.
Carl Tanzler.
I don't already like it anyways.
He was a German-born radiology technologist. And he was in Key West, Florida, right? The setting is we are in 1930, okay? So it's way back when.
Okay.
1930.
All right.
And he meets a young woman named Elena Milagro de Hoyos.
Elena. Ooh, beautiful. Elena.
Beautiful woman, right? Carl thought the same exact thing. This woman was absolutely beautiful. The only weird part about it was Elena was 17 and he was 53.
Pedo.
Something like that. It was like,
Pedo.
I don't know if those numbers are exactly right, but there was definitely a senior and a junior kind of going on.
Yeah, pedophilia.
And in 1930, it definitely pedo. But here, I'm going to press the button real quick.
Okay.
1 sec.
Press that button. Woo, woo, woo.
All right. So Carl and Elena, they meet, right? And he finds...
Did they meet on Tinder?
Well, Tinder wasn't around in the 1930s.
You don't know.
That's true. But
you
they
don't
did.
know that.
Yeah. Okay. So they and they meet at like this dance hall kind of thing, and
all right, cool. So dirty bills. I'm kidding. I'll shut the fuck up.
And he falls in love with her. Like, he thinks that she is the most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his entire life, right?
All right, cool. So she love bombed him.
Woman. No.
So shut the fuck up.
He just became obsessed with her, right? Like, obsessed. And she ended up getting tuberculosis because tuberculosis was big in the early 1900s. He tried to, proposed to her twice, I think was the number. She said no both times. They never even had sexual advances or anything. She just kind of was entertaining him like, hey, thank you for your obsession, but I'm not really down to fuck. That's basically what it was.
Love bombing. Got it.
I guess on his part, right, would be love bombing?
No, because if she is like...
She never told him that she loved him.
No, but like love bombing doesn't necessarily mean that they're dropping the L word. It's like, oh, I like you, or yes. It's basically talking about future plans together and stuff that you do that when you're actually in love with someone.
Maybe. I don't know. But...
love bombing and gaslighting still in the 1930s.
Possibly.
Woo!
You can press it again.
Got it.
All right, we're dealing with the cameras. But anyways, let me just like speed through this, okay?
All right.
She gets tuberculosis. She dies. He offers to pay for her funeral because he loves her that much, but they really don't know each other like that. Like, it's been maybe a couple months.
So he offers to pay the family for her funeral?
Yeah. So
okay,
he
because I didn't think she could give consent if she's dead.
Yeah, no, she definitely can't give consent. But, you know, the family is, like, not very wealthy, and he is because he was a doctor.
Oh.
He was a doctor. Yeah.
Oh, no. I know where this is going.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Don't tell me.
So hold on.
Okay.
Hold your britches. Pull them out. Pull that wad out of your ass. All right. Thank you. The family lets them fucking buy this girl her funeral, and it becomes like an upground kind of funeral. But like in New Orleans when they have above ground kind of shit. But what came with that was his own key that he got to have from her upground funeral, like her little home that she
Only
has.
he was able to have it?
And only he was able to have it. And before you know it, she was gone. She went missing from that above ground funeral because he took her. He then made a plaster of her where he encased her in wax and basically tried to cover up all of the deteriorating skin that was falling off of her face and such. He got fake hair and planted it on her head, and he literally slept with her, had sex with her. So he was doing the necrophilia kind of shit for months. Maybe it was a long months. It was a fucking long time. And nobody could get a hold of him and find him. He would literally dress her, buy her jewelry, worship her, all that kind of stuff. And
what the fuck?
Yeah. And you got to imagine this. He got away with this for a little bit because
he was rich.
He was rich, but you're not checking your deceased one's funeral every day unless you live close by or something like that and you want to make your point, you know? They checked every once in a while, so like it had been months since they paid their respects, and they went back and she was just gone.
But how would they know if she was gone if only he had the key?
Because they had to have a key too. You know, they're the family.
Right. Okay,
but
that would make sense.
Since he paid for it, he gets a key too. It was part of like the deal, I guess.
But did they just open up her casket and they're like, "Hey, what's up?
That's
Miss
what he
you,
did.
bitch."
That's what he did, and I guess you can do whatever you want when you got like an above ground funeral because you can just go in there and fucking open up the casket and see her because she's not 6 feet under.
Right.
So
that's creepy.
Yeah. So, they pretty much figure out that this guy was literally having a real life corpse bride because he put a ring around her finger and said that he was married to her and would tell everybody that he was married, he had a wife. He would even bring this dead woman encrusted in wax, clothes, jewelry out to dance floors, and he would dance with a dead body. And nobody said a thing.
Nobody said anything?
No.
Nobody even knew that this person was dead?
For months, nobody said a thing. And finally, somebody reported it they were just like, this is kind of weird.
Did everybody know that she was dead?
Yeah, people knew that she was dead, but like she was so badly decomposed, and this guy wasn't an artist that he couldn't perfectly match her face, right? So it doesn't even look like her anymore. It's just this wax figure that has a dead body in it, and he's married to it and taking it out in public and bringing it back home, bringing it in bed.
That is some serious, crazy psycho shit.
It's fucking psycho. And he performed
Don't get any ideas.
He performed I'm good. I'm not good. I'm not into fucking dead bodies. So,
I don't know.
He performed necrophilia on her because, like, you know, when you die, your vagina is not going to stay like cool all the time. It's going to end up like closing in or some shit like that. He shoved a tube in there. And
what?
Yeah, and created his own pretty much pocket pussy in a dead body. Yeah. The craziest part of
our podcast went very dark very quickly.
So dark. I just heard this story on BuzzFeed while it was like 1 o'clock in the morning and I was trying to go to bed. I was like, this is fucking absurd. This is the craziest story. Why have I never heard this?
And then you're like, wow, my girlfriend loves the movie Corpse Bride. I wonder if she's creepy. Like,
fuck, dude.
wow, that is insane.
But it doesn't stop there.
Wait, what?
It doesn't stop there. Because obviously he hasn't gotten caught yet, right? I haven't told you how he got caught. Like, he hasn't gotten booked or put in jail or anything
But
yet.
somebody reported it, right?
Someone reported it.
Okay.
The cops came into his house and saw the corpse on his bed. But I guess I was wrong about months. It had been years.
Years?
It had been years.
Okay. What?
And it might have been months that he had her, but it had been years since she died, right?
Oh.
It was one or the
Because I was
other.
going to say, decompensation, I think, takes a while.
Yeah, so it had been years since she was dead. Over 30 years, they just said.
What? What the fuck?
So this guy, she was dead. And he was just that obsessed
Well,
that
she should be dead the minute that she died.
But no, she was even more dead.
So she was badly decomposed.
Yeah.
And so he basically put her in
and he pulled her out and pretty much put wax over her and all that kind of stuff. And when they booked him, they were going to charge him with defamation of a corpse and necrophilia. But it had been so long that, like, the event initially happened or something like that. They had no proof, and the statute of limitations was up. There was a statute of limitations. This is like 1970s, so people don't know what the fuck to do.
You said
about
1930.
Law. It's the 1970s now.
Oh,
She's been dead for over 30 years, remember?
Oh, shit.
So he got off. He didn't go to jail. He might have gone to jail for a little bit. I don't remember seeing that.
Well, he got off in more ways than one. What the fuck?
Fucking creepy. And I guess he ended up going to jail again. But long story short, I don't know how this happened, but I know he didn't go to jail. And before they could take her grave or like put her back in her grave and take her back, he was asking the court if he could have her back. And they're like, no, obviously not. So in a fit of rage, he put sticks of dynamite in her gravesite and blew it up. And destroyed the gravesite that he purchased. This guy was a fuck. This guy sucks.
What a psycho. This
guy was a fucking psycho. But I know I got some details wrong there, but the gist of it is right. And it was a real life corpse bride that happened in the 1930s all the way till the 1970s. The most psycho shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Is this a movie? If so,
it should be a movie, right?
I'm pretty sure it probably is a movie.
Maybe it is The Corpse Bride.
No. We're not gonna taint this beautiful movie.
That's true.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is one of my favorite movies, and it's not even similar to that.
No, it's not.
To take this out, it's starting to itch my titty.
It would be kind of weird if the Tim Burton version was
No,
based
I
off
just know that there's a lot of people that like will take like a lot of his creations, like a lot of the movies that he's made, and be like, this was inspired by this tragic event. And it's like, please don't taint this beautiful movie. Like you know how they do that with Disney movies?
Yeah.
It's like, please stop it. Please fucking stop it.
I don't know, but long story short.
Do not ruin my childhood, you fuckers.
Carl Townsler, you did not deserve to have any air during this life because you're a fucking creep.
That's disgusting.
Those are not friends that fuck. That is a psychopath that does necrophilia. He was
no consent. She literally had to die for him to think that was consent when
he was a
still
doctor.
rape.
He was a doctor.
Yeah, stupid ass doctor.
He was a fucking doctor. But if you guys want to watch like the actual detailed version of it, I'll link it in the comments below because it's a BuzzFeed video and it's fucking nuts.
I'm gonna watch it after this.
It's so crazy. But we'll go ahead and dive into a manifesting, positive, beautiful message from Esther's Witch Words of the Week. Take it away.
All right. Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it'll elude you. But if you turn your attention to other things, it will come and sit softly on your shoulders.
Of course I had to do with the butterfly.
I didn't even know you were going to like bring that up. All right. So it just kind of fits. It's the vibe.
So what exactly did you say?
You want me to repeat it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't get any of that.
So happiness is like a butterfly. The
All right.
more you chase it, the more it'll elude you. But if you turn your attention to the other things, it will come and sit softly on your shoulders.
Aw, that's actually sweet. That's very true. Because, what's the song? Don't go chasing waterfalls. It's the same. It's the same principle. You can't find happiness. Happiness will find you.
Yeah.
And the only way that you're going to find happiness is doing the things that you love and taking advantage of this short fucking life that we have. So do whatever you want. If you want to jump buck naked from fucking Mount Everest and slide down and do all that kind of jazz, if that makes you happy, do it. You know, I got to put a stipulation there considering the story we just followed up. Necrophilia.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I know that made Mr. Carl Townsler happy, but that doesn't make society happy. Neither the dead corpse or the family. So, kind of, don't fuck a dead body.
Basically, as long as it's not hurting anybody and it's not affecting anybody else, do what makes you happy.
Dude.
So if you want to have a beautiful garden in your yard, go plant those plants. If you want your car to be hot pink, go freaking dye it hot pink. If you want to eat that tub of ice cream, eat that tub of ice cream.
I thought you said toe of ice cream and I got PTSD.
No.
If you know what we're talking about last week's episode. But
if you want to make a podcast, you can hit us up and we'll be happy to make that for you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Like I'll do that in there.
So, if you made it this far, I'm sure you got some crazy shit that you've heard because we lived it. We watched it, everything. But now it is time to dive into our challenge of the week thanks to Pedro Martinez.
Fuck, I didn't even think of anything to do for dart hands.
So I also didn't think of much to do for dart hands. We are going to do this. No, we're not going to do that. Maybe we're going to do this. No, we're not going to do that. This is what we're going to do, okay? So for everybody listening right now, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to hear my pain on this podcast.
No.
You're not going to be able to hear it.
No.
But what we're going to do is we're going to cut the audio short. We're going to cut it here. If you want to hop on and see the misery that happens to me, I am going to go to the store real quick and buy darts and a dartboard, and we are going to refilm it. And it's going to be on our YouTube, okay? And we'll also have it on our TikTok, and we'll have maybe a glimpse of it on our Instagram. If you guys want to follow that, listen close. Because our Instagram is...
I can't believe you're actually going to do it. My God.
That's not what our Instagram handle is.
No, I know. It's what? FTF Podcast?
It is FTF Podcast ATX. On TikTok, it is FTF Podcast. And on YouTube, it is Friends That Fuck Podcast, but the U has an asterisk because we got to be PG. But
YouTube
you guys can go watch me play hand darts on there. So that's all. That is our entire episode today. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love each and every one of you that have tuned us on and decided to listen to our crazy lives because they are crazy. Esther, do you have anything you want to say to our beautiful audience?
No. I love you.
No, and then she proceeds to say I love you.
No, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for the support and the love. And if You guys can just share this podcast with somebody that you think might enjoy this content. Please do. Anything helps.
And like I said before, if you guys share or leave a comment on a challenge that would go towards me, I'm sending you $1. It's free money. Come on.
Pesos.
Or pesos. We got pesos. If you guys want some pesos.
Woo!
All right. I love you guys. Don't forget, fuck your friends. Ding.
Oh, wait, shit, wrong
Button. Fuck your friends. Ding dong.
Bing bong.
Bong bing. Bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the challenge wheel. Quick look to Esther's face. She's terrified. We are doing the hand arts. Thank you, Pedro. You're a sweetie. We're going to do a trial run real quick. And I'm going to put on this little turkey hand. My parents were artists, if you were curious. We're going to put that right where my hand is going to be. Go ahead and put on the blindfold. She's going to be throwing these darts blindfolded at my hand. The key here is her darts have to hit either the dartboard or my hand. 3 of them. All right, Esther, go ahead and throw the first dart. Ooh. Ooh. All right, so we're going to run through the same thing again. And if it either hits my hand or if it hits the dartboard, it counts. But if it hits anywhere outside of here, it is a rethrow. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Holy shit. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. And 3, 2, 1. So, we missed on 2 of them. Here you are again. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Alright. 3, 2. I'm shaking too, honestly, a little bit.
Am I done?
We'll make it done, because I'm torching the poor girl. Hand darts. Thanks, Pedro. Got impaled.
Sorry.
It's okay, baby.